Okay, fine. So, good morning. We'll try to solve some numericals. So, let's take the first numericals. It's only related to centrifugal pumps. It's from the tutorial 6. Okay. The blade angles at the inlet and outlet of the impeller of a centrifugal pump are 55 degrees and 75 degrees. And the corresponding diameters are 3 centimeters and 6 centimeters respectively. The blade width at the outlet is 0.75 centimeter. The speed is 1500 rpm. The entry of water is radial without any whirl component. The flow component of fluid velocity remains constant in the impeller. Draw the velocity triangles and calculate the specific work, the flow rate, the power of the machine, and the manometric rate. The hydraulic efficiency may be taken as 85%. Okay. Let's write what is given. So they are given. So the blade angles, that is beta 1, it is 55 degrees, and beta 2 is 75 degrees, and the inlet diameter, that is the diameter of the hub or whatever it is, 3 centimeters. If I convert it to meters, it will be 0.03 meters, and d2 is equal to, it is 6 centimeters, that is 0.06 meters. And they have given the width at the exit, that is B2. We call it B1 as the inlet and the B2. Let me take it as small B2, that's better. So it is B2. It is 7.5 centimeter, 0.75 centimeters means 0.0075 meters. And they have given the speed with which the pump rotates, which is 1500 rpm. And the flow enters radially. That means that your alpha 1 is equal to 90 degrees. And when it is entering radially, the corresponding whirl component of the velocity is also 0. Vw1 is equal to 0. And your flow component Vf1 and Vf2 is equal to Vf2, which is, so it's a constant. Vf1 is equal to Vf2 is equal to Vf. And the last data they are given is the hydraulic efficiency. So the hydraulic efficiency, which is 85%, 0.85. And what you are supposed to find? To find the first one, it is specific work, that is W bar M. The second one, the flow rate, that is discharge. The third, we are supposed to find the power input, and the fourth one is the manometric rate. These are the four components we are supposed to find. Let us put the velocity triangle, and then we'll try to solve one by one. Okay, this being a compressor. Okay, let me put the triangle. It's something like this. So this will be rotating like this. Okay, and it is rotating in this direction. So let me draw the velocity triangle at the inlet. This is my V1, and it is also equal to Vf1 because my Vw1 is equal to 0, and this will be my Vr1, and this is my U. Okay, and this is my alpha 1, this is my beta 1, which is given as 55 degrees. At the same time, they have given your beta 2 as 75 degrees. This is how it goes. The exit velocity triangle, it looks something like this. Fine. So this is my VR2, and this is my V2, and this will be my U2. Because this is a radial flow machine, your U1 and U2 are different, and the components of the velocity V2 will be, this will be Vf2, and this will be Vw2 in this direction. So this looks a simple velocity triangle, whatever it is. And we will try to calculate what are the other components. See, this being a radial flow machine, my U1 and U2 will be different. So what is the formula to find U1? We already know that U is equal to pi dn by 60. So U1 is equal to U1 is equal to pi d1. U1 is equal to pi d1 U1 is equal to pi d1 n by 50, that is pi into 0.03 into 1500 rpm divided by 60. So if I put it into the calculator, I am looking around 2.35 meters per second. It shows that's a very small machine. U2 is equal to pi d2 n by 60 pi into 0.06 into 500 by 700 by 60. It is 2.35 into 2. It should be 4.71 meters per second. Okay, I got my U1 and U2. Now let us consider the inlet velocity triangle. Okay, from the inlet velocity triangle, what is it actually? If I take tan beta 1, what is it actually? Tan beta 1 is equal to your opposite side, which is V1 or Vf1, divided by your adjacent, which is U1. So I can write Vf1 is equal to U1 into tan beta 1. So the U1 just now we calculated, it is 2.35 into beta 1 is given in the numerator, which is 10, which is 55 degrees. So tan 55. If I substitute in the calculator, I am getting around 3.36 meters per second. And as my Vf1 is equal to Vf2, which is also equal to V1, which is 3.36 meters per second. Okay. Similarly, from the outlet velocity triangle, see, I can write tan beta 2 is equal to, so this is my beta 2, this is my alpha 2. So tan beta 2 is equal to, I can write Vf2 divided by this x. If I call this at E, that is x. So x is equal to U2 minus Vw2. So if I substitute, so what it will be? This will be Vf2 divided by U2 minus Vw2. So I need to find Vw2. Let us do a little bit of cross multiplication. So this will be, I need to get in terms of Vw2. So if I do the cross multiplication, so U2 minus Vw2 is equal to Vf2 divided by tan beta 2, or Vw2 is equal to, if I bring it to the other side, this will be U2 minus Vf2 divided by tan beta 2. So U2 just now we calculated, it is 4.71 minus Vf1 and Vf2 both are same, which is 3.36 divided by tan 75. If I substitute, I will be getting my whole velocity at the exit is equal to 3.8 meters per second. Okay. So these are the two things. One is Vw1 and Vw2. we found VF1 and VW2. Now, what is the specific work actually? Specific work formula. What is it actually? The specific work is actually, it is W by M is equal to VW2 into U2 minus VW1 into U1. So in this problem, VW1 is equal to 0 because it is the flow is entering radially. So my formula will be only simply VW2 into U2. So W by M is equal to VW2 is equal to 3.8 into, so U2 is 4.71, so which is equal to 17.95 Newton meter per kg or joules per kg. Okay, next, what else we are supposed to find? Next we are supposed to find the discharge. That is your Q. The next thing I am supposed to find is my discharge. That is your Q. So what is the formula to find the Q? We have seen. So Q is given by, the formula is Q is equal to pi d1. So we know this formula already. We have derived it in my unit 1 and unit 2. We have derived. This is the formula. Q is equal to pi d1 into VF1 is equal to pi d2 into VF2. So here I know the value of B2, I know the value of D2, and VF1 is equal to VF2. I can easily use the second formula and find the discharge. So Q is equal to pi D2 VF2, or VF is equal to, so pi into 0.06 into 0.0075 into your VF is 3.8, yeah, 3.36. So I'll get my discharge if I put it into calculator. It's a very small pump actually. So I'm getting around 4.75 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meter cube per second. So meter cube per second. This is my discharge. Then how to find the power? Power is equal to mass flow rate into specific work, which already we have calculated. What is the mass flow rate? Already given the numerical, it is 4.75. Something here given, yeah. Mass flow rate. They are not given mass flow rate, no? Mass flow rate we have to find. So we are not given the mass flow rate. So what is the mass flow rate? So mass flow rate is equal to your density into discharge. So what is the density for the water? It is 1000 into density, just now we found it is 4.75 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So I am getting my mass flow rate is equal to 4.75 kg per second. Okay. Now power is equal to, your mass flow rate is 4.75 into your specific power is equal to 17.95 joules per kg. So I'll be getting Newton meter per second or watts. So it is 85.4 watts. It's a very small pump. Okay. What is the next thing you are supposed to find? The fourth one is we are supposed to find the manometric height. The manometric height HM is equal to VW2 into U2 divided by G multiplied by your hydraulic efficiency. Because why no? This is actually your Euler rate. Euler rate is equal to, so you know this formula already, we know this formula. But let me write that formula, that's better. So your hydraulic efficiency is equal to, fine, your hydraulic efficiency is equal to your manometric head by your Euler head, or your manometric efficiency is equal to your hydraulic efficiency multiplied by your HE. So that is VW2 into U2 by G, because your Euler head is equal to VW2 into U2 divided by G. So how much is my hydraulic efficiency? It is 85% into my VW2, already we have calculated, which is 3.8, into your U2 is 4.71 divided by 9.81. So if I substitute, I'll be getting around 1.56 meters. So if you want, I can find specific speed also. So if I want to find specific speed, it will be n root q by h to the power of hm to the power of 3 by 4. So that, that is not asked actually. Maybe if you want, I can write that also an extra thing. So if they have the specific speed, extra thing. So the specific speed ns, this is for the pump or whatever it may be. NSP is equal to n root q by hm to the power of 3 by 4. So if I substitute, what is the value of n? It is 1500 into q is 4.75 into 10 to the power of minus 3 divided by 1.56 to the power of 3 by 4. I'll be getting NSP, that is specific speed, is equal to 74.4 RPM. So whatever written in the red, no, that's an extra thing. If they ask to find the specific speed, just substitute that formula and we can find it. So all the parameters they've asked in this problem stage. So this is a very simple centrifugal pump. Numericals are. Today I will try to solve as much as possible the simple problems. Tomorrow I will try to solve one or two some difficult problems where you have to calculate some of the things, and then you have to further. You have to move further and taking the previously calculated values. This is about the first numerical, which is very simple. Fine. So any clarifications? You can type it in the chat window. Okay, fine. If there are no clarifications, we'll go to the next problem. We'll go to the next problem. Okay. This is about the same centrifugal pump. The centrifugal pump is driven by an induction motor at 960 RPM. The flow rate of water is 50 liters per second. So here they are given 50 liters per second. Just divided by 1000, I'll be getting in meter cube per second. So it will be 50 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meter cube per second. Against a head of 10 meters. So that is your manometric head. See, the working head is always your manometric head. The working head is always your manometric head. Okay. It's working under the manometric head. The flow velocity is constant through the impeller. The blades are radial at the outlet and losses are estimated as 15% of the output. See, the blades are radial at the outlet. This is the condition at which my beta 2 is equal to 90 degrees. And see here, the flow is also entering radially and exiting radially. So most of the centrifugal pumps, the flow will enter radially. Assume the water enters the rotor at alpha 1 is equal to 90 meters. It's a whirl velocity. See, in this condition, my alpha 1 is equal to 90. The flow is entering radially and the flow is exiting radially. So both the conditions. So my simple, both the triangles at the inlet and the exit are simple right angle triangles. So what you're supposed to find? You're supposed to find the tip diameter, that is your D2, and the width of the blade at the outlet, small b2, and the fluid delivery angle. The fluid delivery angle, that is alpha 2, the fluid which goes out actually. It's about with respect to the fluid and the power and the specific speed. So these are the conditions, these are the things which you are supposed to calculate. Let's write the data what is given. So what is given? Okay. They are given speed is equal to 960 rpm. Manometric head HM is equal to 10 meters. My Q1 is equal to, it is 50 liters per second, which is equal to 50 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meter cube per second. My Vf is equal to 6.5 meters per second, and the hydraulic efficiency is equal to, see, they are given 15% losses. So 1 minus 0.15. The loss is 0.15. So what will be the efficiency? It is 85% or 0.85. Hydraulic, see, the estimated losses is 15%. So what is left is 8.85. And they are given the flow is, see, the radial at the outlet. The blades are radial at the outlet. So my beta 2 is 90 degrees and my alpha 1 is equal to 90 degrees. So which means that the whole velocity at the inlet is equal to 0. That means it is a condition of no pre-whirling. So these are the conditions they are given. What are we supposed to find? We are supposed to find A, that is your exit diameter, B, which is your width at the exit. Third one, we are supposed to find the fluid delivery angle, that is alpha 2. Then D, the power, E, the specific speed of the pump. These are the 5 parameters we are supposed to find. Okay, let's write the velocity triangle first. So this being said, the blades may look something like this. Okay, and it's rotating like this, and your inlet velocity triangle will be like this. A simple velocity triangle. U1, VR1, this is my V1 is equal to VF1, VW1 is equal to 0, my alpha 1 and beta 1. So here the fluid is exiting exactly radially. So this will be my beta 2. This is my VR2, which is beta 2 is 90 degrees, and this is my V2, and so this is actually your U2 as well as VW2. So this is my beta 2, this will be my alpha 2. So we are supposed to find your alpha 2 here, and beta 2 is given as 90 degrees. So this is a condition they are given. So let's solve one by one. See, they have given, see how to find the Euler head. See here the Euler head will be VW2 into U2. Fine. So VW2 into U2. Okay. And the corresponding maybe VW2 is equal to U2. So this will be U2 square by G or VW2 square by G. Either I can substitute in terms of U2 or in terms of VW2. Both are same. So we know the hydraulic efficiency. See, what is the hydraulic efficiency? See, the hydraulic efficiency, is equal to your manometric head divided by your Euler head. Okay, and your manometric efficiency is equal to manometric head. They are given as see, your Euler head will be equal to the manometric head divided by hydraulic efficiency. They are given the manometric head as 10 meters divided by your hydraulic head as 0.85, that is after losses. So I'll be getting my HE. So HE is equal to 10 by 0.85. So HE is equal to 10 by 0.85. 10 by 0.85. 10 by 0.85. Also, already I told that my HE is equal to your VW2 into U2 by G, and VW2 is equal to U2. So this will be U2 square by G. So it is 11.76. HE is equal to 11.76 meters. I got this. Also, G is equal to VW2 into 2 minus VW1 into U1 by G, as my VW1 is equal to 0 and VW2 is equal to U2. This is for radial exit, and because of the blades are radial at the exit, this will be either U2 square by G. Okay, U2 into U2, or I can write VW2 square by G. Either of this formula I will use. Now already I know what is the value of HE. So HE is equal to 11.76 is equal to U2 square divided by 9.81, or U2 is equal to 11.76 into 9.81 square root of it. If I take the square root of it, I'll be getting my U2. So which is 10.74 meters per second. 10.74 meters per second. So this is the value of your U2. Now what is the formula from this U2? We have the formula. What is it? Pi d2 n by pi d2 n by 60. So from that I can find the d2. I can find the d2. So that is, so d2 will be equal to u2 into 60, u2 into 60 by pi into n. So we know that u2 is equal to pi d2 n by 60. We are supposed to find the exit diameter. d2 is equal to 60 into u2 divided by pi into n. So substitute everything. 60 into 10.74 divided by pi into, so n is 960 rpm. So what is the value of d2? If I substitute, I am getting around 0.21 meters, or you can find it as 21 centimeters. So that is the corresponding. So that is your d2. Now what is the value of discharge? How to find the discharge? So discharge is given as 50 liters per second. From that I can find the you can find the your width actually. So we know this is yours. Here we found the diameter. Now we know that discharge is given by pi d1 b1 into vf1, which is also equal to pi d2 b2 into vf2. I'll take the second quantity. So q is equal to pi d2 b2 into vf. So I know that the value of the discharge, it is 50 liters per second, that is 50 into 10 to the power of minus 3, which is equal to pi into, what is the value of d2? 0.21. Just now we calculated. I am supposed to find b2, and your vf is 6.5. So we found it. Vf value 6.5. 6.5. So I can find the B2. So B2 is equal to 0.011 meters. So this is the value of your width of the impeller at the exit. Now what else we are supposed to find? We have to find the flow angle. So from the velocity triangle at exit, from the velocity triangle exit, you look at the velocity triangle at the exit. So what is it actually? What is my tan alpha 2? If I take tan alpha 2, which will be your VR, so it will be your opposite. It will be your VR, and this is also equal to, see here VR2 is equal to VF. See, VR2 is equal to VF2, or it's also equal to VF divided by your U2 or whatever. So tan alpha 2 is equal to your VR2 or VF2 divided by U2 or VW2. I'll use that. So tan alpha 2 is equal to VR2 divided by your U2, and VR2 is equal to VF2. So I can write, because VF2 is equal to VF, I can write it as VF divided by U2, or alpha 2 is equal to tan inverse of, what is my VF? It's given in the numerical as 6.5 divided by U2 is 10.74 meters per second. If I calculate, I am getting 31.18 degrees. Okay. Now, look at this here. What is the power? You can see power you can calculate with respect to two things. One, what is the power available at the rotor? What is the power available that is going to your, see, what is the power available with the fluid? What is the power available at the shaft? See, you have two things. Okay, so both I will try to do, because it's in the problem statement, they are not specified anything. So power E is equal to, I can see the power available at the your rotor or whatever it may be, that is with respect to fluid. I am speaking with respect to fluid, that is omega Q into He. You have to be very careful. This is power at the rotor. So the power available at the your maybe the fluid, what is available with respect to what is coming into your shaft or whatever it may be. So that I can write in terms of, see, that will be your mass flow rate into your He or whatever it may be. Okay, the same. See, you should not get confused with this formula we have been using and this formula. Is there a difference? No difference at all. Okay, so few books they go with this particular formula. Why it is actually, this is actually, once again, this is rho into Q into He divided by G, the same formula. What is this actually? This is rho into Q. This is mass flow rate. This particular thing is mass flow rate once again. So some of the books they will be using this omega into Q or gamma into Q into HU. Both are same. We have been using this particular formula. What are the power available out of the formula? This formula we are using. So I can use either this formula if I have VW2, so which I can carry with VW2 is equal to U2. So I may get the mass flow rate into U2 square by G. So either of the formula I can use and I can calculate. So if I use this particular formula, whatever it may, I'll end up with the same number. So your omega is equal to 9810 for water into discharge is 50 into 10 to the power of minus 3. Your Euler head is 11.76, which you already calculated. So the power is 5.77 kilowatts, which will be the same if I use this formula, whatever may be the formula, it's the same formula. So you should not get confused. So I've been using that particular formula. Why all of them the same? Because some textbooks they you go with either gamma QH or omega QH into H. You have to be very careful. When I'm using omega QH, actually you should not use manometric head. If I'm using manometric head, actually in that case I have to multiply. So manometric head is so you have to if HE instead of HE if I use manometric head instead I have to divide it by hydraulic efficiency because your HE is equal to your HM divided by your manometric efficiency or hydraulic efficiency, whatever it may be. So this HE, if you want to substitute, like if you want to substitute in terms of manometric head, then I have to use this formula. Okay, I got the power. So what is the formula? Specific speed. So the last thing is the specific speed. The formula is NSP is equal to N root Q bar H to the power of 3 by 4. So speed is given as 960 into root Q, which is given as 50 into 10 to the power of minus 3. See here, you have to be a bit careful. I have to use manometric head instead of because the specific speed of the pump is the head under which the pump is working. Okay, so the power under which your pump will be working is manometric head. So I have to use HM, that is 10 to the power of 3 by 4. Don't use your Euler head. Okay, HM to the power of 3 by 4. If I substitute, I'll be getting 38.17 RPM. So your specific speed means this is the head under which pump works, under which the pump works. This is your manometric heat. So the power supplied to the fluid from the rotor is omega Q H. See what is the supply? See, sometimes they may see this is the power at the rotor. This is the power available at the rotor. So there is an extra thing. Sometimes they may ask, what is the power supplied to the fluid? See, power available at the fluid. What is the power available at the fluid? If that is the case, then I have to use power for the fluid is equal to either rho Q into HM by G or omega Q into HM. So what is this particular thing? This is the power available at the fluid. So that means that if I have a rotor, see this is the rotor, and what is the fluid? See it goes to this is something like I have a vein, whatever it may be. So there is some kind of loss here. So if you want to find with respect to the fluid here, with respect to the rotor here. So that particular difference. Sometimes they may ask this, but most of the times it will be with respect to corresponding rotor. So that's why the 5.77 kilowatts what we have calculated. That's fine. So this is about your second problem. So I'll show the third problem. Third problem is almost like very similar to your first two problems. The theoretical end and the ideal end. The theoretical end is manometric head, and the ideal end is our HM or your manometric head under which it's working. So that's the only difference. 2% slip may be assumed. So I want you people to try this third problem. The third problem, and as a homework, try this problem and try to post it. I'll create one kind of an assignment on the Google Classroom. So by next class, only one problem. So try third problem as an homework and try to submit. It's there on the tutorial sheet. So I'll take up the fourth problem. We'll take up the fourth problem. The fourth problem, we are supposed to find the minimum starting speed. See, it's something like this. A centrifugal pump has its impeller with inlet and outer diameters of 35 centimeters and 70 centimeters respectively. It is used in a setup with a manometric head of 28 meters. Determine the minimum starting speed. Okay. So what is given? They are given the diameters. This is a simple straightforward problem. So D1 is equal to 35 centimeters or 0.35 meters. What is the D2? D2 is equal to 70 centimeters or 0.7 meters, and your head under which it's working, that is your manometric head. HM is equal to 28 meters. What we are supposed to find? To find the minimum starting speed, it has to work. So the minimum starting speed which it has to work. See, we did a derivation. So what is it actually? The minimum starting speed. The minimum starting speed should be equal to or greater than 2 times your G. Okay, 2 times your G by pi square. Okay, into, so 60 square into HM divided by D2 square minus D1 square whole to the power of 1 by 2 or square root of this particular thing. So this was the formula what we have been using. So if I substitute, so N minimum is equal to 2 into 9.81 into 60 square, that is 60 into 60 multiplied by your manometric head, which is 28 divided by pi square into D2 is 0.7 square minus 0.35 square whole to the power of 1 by 2. If I substitute everything in my calculator, so I'm getting around 738 RP. See, until unless the pump rotates at 738 RPM, no head is developed. So what is the speed with which the pump has to rotate? Pump has to rotate at speed more than 738 RPM. Okay. So let's write that, some comments. The speed with which the pump has to run to ensure the delivery of the fluid. Speed with which speed with which the pump has to rotate or rotate for to ensure the delivery of fluid is 738 RPM. So what can be the running speed of the pump? So speed can be, so it can be 740 RPM, or it can be 800 RPM, or 750 RPM, or whatever it may be. Whatever may be the RPM is accepted. If the pump rotates at any speed greater than this 738, it will start delivering fluid. If it rotates at 730 rpm, no, there won't be any delivery of the fluid. That is the meaning of it. And in this kind of numerical, sometimes instead of manometric head, they may give Euler head. So what you have to do? Use this formula. The hydraulic efficiency is equal to Hm by Euler head. Okay, Hm will be equal to the hydraulic efficiency into He. So what you are supposed to substitute, because the pump is operating at always manometric head. Euler head is the head under which the fluid may be entering, or fluid is under which fluid will work with the rotor or whatever it may be. But the working head is always your manometric